I am going to show you an article that was published in a scientific journal back in 2015. And it talks about the Wuhan Institute of Virology actually experimenting with kinds of coronaviruses found in bats in China and creating genetic mutants by mixing DNA. And the article talks about a concern that these viruses might break out and cause harm to people. Now, keep in mind, this is back in 2015, before the outbreak of the coronavirus. In front of me, I'm going to show you a video by Dr. Rashid Berto. He's got a lot of great content on YouTube. The problem is his videos are usually very long, like an hour or so. I wanted to do a very quick, straight to the point video showing you the facts. So I want to show you this specific thing and show you that there's evidence of the coronavirus being biologically created back in 2015, and we can date this. I'm also going to do another video where we can do a date-specific search on Google and find article after article talking about how this lab, the Wuhan Institute of Virology, which by the way is the biggest virus lab in the world, which you probably haven't heard on the news, they actually speak about taking the DNA from this coronavirus found in bats and trying to make it spread more easily. And one of the ways they do this, and I'll show you exactly where from a trusted source, was by taking the DNA in the HIV virus and actually mixing it with the coronavirus DNA. Now, you get a lot of rumors on the internet talking about this, but very few people are actually showing sources. So I just want to show you directly some of the sources. So this video will be going over Rashid Berto's evidence, and then I'll also post another one where I'll be doing a Google date specific search where I'll show you articles that have existed prior to anyone even knew about the coronavirus, and this viral institute were doing all these experiments on coronavirus, trying to make a highly contagious, dangerous version of coronavirus. Anyways, I'm going to press play.
This was published in 2015, November 12th, 2015. And this is actually the full article, the full research paper that was done. But what I want to bring your attention to this March 2020 note that has been put there by the editors. And I want to read that first, then I'm going to go through the study, and then I want you to decide what this really means. So the editor's note, before we start, says, we are aware that this story is being used as a basis of unverified theories that the novel coronavirus causing COVID-19 was engineered. There is no evidence that this is true. Scientists believe that an animal is the most likely source of the coronavirus. Now, it's obviously whoever wrote this from the editor's note perspective was either an idiot or doesn't understand the English language, but certainly wasn't a scientist, because I'm going to now show you what the study says. Remember, this is a warning now that they're putting here to dissuade people, to prevent them from actually looking at the science, to tell you that, look, just because you see it and it's blue, it doesn't mean it's blue. The sky is not blue. Yeah, it looks blue to you, but it's not really blue. Don't believe it. It's not blue. It's actually yellow, but it's not blue. Whatever you see and you think it's blue, it's not blue. So what am I talking about? You see for yourself. In November of 2015, an experiment that created a hybrid version of a bat coronavirus, one related to the virus that caused SARS, severe acute respiratory syndrome, as we discussed before, has triggered renewed debate over whether engineering lab variants of viruses with possible pandemic potential is worth the risk. This is the lead component, the first paragraph of the study that was published in Nature, probably one of the most respected journals in the world. The first paragraph, again, I'm going to read this so that you can understand. Take this for the words that I'm saying. I'm not embellishing anything. I'm not exaggerating anything. This is the very first paragraph. An experiment that created a hybrid version of a bat coronavirus, one related to the virus that caused SARS, has triggered renewed debate over whether engineered lab variants of viruses with possible pandemic potential is worth the risk. Okay, this is where we start. Now it goes on, starts talking about the same thing we talked about earlier, the SCH014 version. But I'm just going to focus in on the parts that are highlighted, because I've read these things like half a dozen times now and decided to highlight them so that when I'm doing this video, it's easy for me to focus in on the important parts. So although almost all coronaviruses isolated from bats have not been able to bind to the key human receptor, which is this SHC014, which is the specific coronavirus we're talking about, was able to bind to human proteins, was able to get into the human vector, but it's not the first one that could do so. In 2013, researchers actually reported this ability for the first time in a different coronavirus isolated from the same bat population. So as far back as 2013, 7 years ago, we knew that there were certain viruses from bats, that certain strains that consisted of this SCH014, as well as other strains that could actually go from the bat vector to the human vector. Now, creation of a chimera. What is that? Well, let's look at, I'm just going to go in so that you can understand what the definition of chimera is. So something that's chimeric, okay? It's of a mythical animal formed from parts of various animals. That's what chimeric means. This is looking at the definition on a search engine, all right? It's also hoped for, built, illusory, or impossible to achieve. From a biological standpoint, the definition of chimeric is relating to or denoting an organism containing a mixture of genetically different tissues formed by processes such as fusion of early embryos, grafting, or mutation. So this is actually taking something. Chimera or chimeric means to adulterate, transform, adjust, change through early fusion of embryos, grafting, mutation, whatever it takes to change the morphological characteristic of whatever the substance or organism is as it appears naturally. All right, so that's what chimera means, or chimeric means. Creation of a chimera means creation of a mutation. That's what they're saying. So again, this is the study. All right, I want you to keep on thinking back to what these idiots said. We're aware that the story is being used as a basis for unverified theories. There's no evidence that this is true. The scientists believe that an animal is the most likely source of coronavirus. Okay, well, we're reading exactly what the study says. This is what you see, reading the blue, and they're saying whatever you see, it's not blue. All right. So, creation of a chimera. The latest study was already underway before the U.S. moratorium began, and this is a moratorium that the government imposed, a moratorium on federal funding of such research that would ease the spread or host range of dangerous pathogens. So basically the government in 2014 said, okay, we're not going to fund any research that is related to creating, adulterating, changing a pathogen to make it more dangerous. We're not going to do any more funding for chimeric reasons to create chimera. We're not going to do that. We're not going to create any more mutants, grafted, changing genetically, but using different tissues to form a new mythical animal. We're not going to do that anymore. That's what the government said in 2014, and they put a moratorium on it. However, the moratorium was already began. The U.S. National Institute of Health, and that's going to become important, who runs the U.S. National Institute of Health. We're going to talk about that. Some obscure person named Anthony Fauci, I think is how you pronounce it.
Okay, so I'm not going to play the full video because I just wanted to make something quick and to the point. If you want, you can find it on the internet and watch the full thing. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Tick the bell icon to get notifications every time I release a video. I want to actually release a lot of videos where I go straight to the point and just give the evidence, just highlight things out, because there's a lot of claims going around, but a lot of people, they're not giving evidence. So I just want to give the sources and things. Yeah, and if you also I just ask also that you share this video and many other videos out this. We need to raise awareness. There's a lot of content being censored and a lot of things that are not making mainstream news. Doctors that are coming out and talking about this are having their careers threatened. So it's very important that we share this with other people. There's also content being removed. articles being taken off the internet, being taken off scientific journals, and they are trying to rewrite the history books. They are removing things from the internet. So it's very important that we share this information and get it out there. Thank you.